Coming up in today's video, we're going to have some of this, a bit of this, oh come on, then a little bit of this, but mainly just a lot of this. Oh come on! It's going to be one of those days. Let's go and take a look.
Are you listening? Damn.
Good evening guys, and welcome back. In today's video we're going to be fitting the exhaust system to our Austin Healey 104 project car. Now, if I've learned anything about working on Austin Healeys, it's that nothing ever fits. So this is going to be a fight all the way, as usual I'm sure. But anything that gets us closer to turning the key and getting the car running is a bonus. Right, let's start with the manifold. It's got a black paint on it, but we can't guarantee whether it's high temperature paint or what it is. So we may have to look into maybe stripping that off down to a bare cast, or cleaning it up, or at least testing the heat of the paint to see where we go next with that. We've got a couple of studs that are sheared off, unfortunately, so we're going to have to probably drill holes in those and get like an easy out on them to try and remove those. So I think before we go into too much depth of stripping all the paint off it, I think we're going to offer it onto the car. Right, we're happy the manifold fits the car, so now it's time to head back over to the bench and try and remove those broken studs. Yeah, it is. Go again. Oh, I don't know. Well, there's a couple of hours of your life you're never ever going to get back. Didn't I say something about it being a little bit difficult at times with Austin Healeys? Right, let's get this manifold finished and fitted to the car. As we went through a second ago, we had to drill these out to tapping size and run a BSF tap through them, so all the threads are saved and tapped out. And what we're going to do now is give it a quick degrease, and then where's the paint gone? Over there. Wow. Give it a coat of VHT, very high temperature black. Right, there's a little bit of old gasket on some of these faces, so we're just going to get ourselves a little scraper and give them a good old clean down. Right, the edges are relatively flat. The Stanley blade was picking up ever so slightly. So I think we'll just get a file and just take the edges down ever so slightly, just so we get a good seal when we put it on the car. Oops. Note to self, do not spill your coffee. That'll ruin your day. Right, that'll do. I'll give it a little look there. The faces of the manifold are nice and flat and nice and clean. Now I know you've all been dying to see me degrease a manifold, but that is way too boring to watch on YouTube, so I'll gloss over that, give it a good old wipe down, and then we'll get it masked up. Right then, let's get it masked up. This is quite a handy one for your masking up cylinder heads or anything relatively intricate. Now, half the battle is having decent masking tape, which I don't. This stuff is crap. It's really bad, but it will serve the purpose of what we're doing. We're just going to mask off the 3 ports and also the triangular like flange, if you will, at the bottom, because the threads on the front will get a little bit of paint in those, but they're clearance holes, so we can just tap those through. Now then, a little tip for masking off. If you push all your masking tape on nice and tight, you can just see, let me bring you down a little bit closer. That's nice. Now then, you can just see the edge that we want to remove the tape on. Now if you get a hammer and just slightly tap on the edge, you won't do enough damage to damage the cast, but you will just break the tape. Now I'll just tap that all the way around, and you can just see when the tape breaks. And then when the tape breaks, you can carefully peel away your masking tape and it'll be masked up perfectly. I promise. Watch this space. Right, moment of truth. If this goes wrong, I look stupid. Let's hope it doesn't. Right, just tease it away. There we go. That couldn't have gone any better, could it? We have now got a perfectly masked off exhaust manifold port. Now I cannot take any credit for that whatsoever. My dad taught me that, and I'm sure his dad taught him, whose dad taught him. But these skills need to be passed on, because if these skills are lost, what on earth have we got left? Right, one more port there, one more port there. The triangular port, ooh, cheeky, in there. And then let's get some paint on it. Ta-da! Not too bad. Right, let's get some paint on it. Let's get it done. That manifold's painted, so whilst the paint's flashing off before we put it in the oven to bake it, I think we fit the little head studs. Now, they're brand new, so they've got a little bit of oil on them. So what we're going to do is just give them a bit of a degrease and then put them on with a little bit of retainer. And what we'll do is we will double nut them. And then if we lock those two against each other, like that, we've then got something to use to wind into the head itself. So let's get a little bit of degreaser and a bit of retainer on that. The threads in the head have been tapped. Don't worry, for those out there that say you can't put that in without tapping those threads. Don't worry, they've been tapped. They're all good. Right, a little bit of retainer. Wipe it round and then simply put it in the head itself. Should go all the way finger tight, because as I say, the threads have been tapped. Wipe off any excess. Grab your spanner and then simply wind it in until it goes tight, like that. Get your ratchet on undo, crack it off, and then you can spin your two nuts off and then do the same 5 more times and then we're done. Right, that's had a good while to dry. Let's put it in the oven, but don't forget to take your masking tape off. And don't tell your wives and girlfriends you're doing it. At least wait until she goes out, guys. She will give you the biggest bollocking in the world if she comes home and finds you cooking an exhaust manifold in the oven. Let's go and stick this one in the oven. On the instructions it says to increase it slowly to 200 degrees. That's gas mark. I don't know. This is a car restoration channel, not a cooking channel. I'm just going to go 75 degrees, 5-10 minutes, and then go 100, 125, and then 25 degree increments to 200, and turn the oven off and cross my fingers. So there we go, guys. The exhaust manifold installed. I never would have thought things would have taken that long, but as with everything Austin Healey, one thing leads to another thing, leads to another thing, and then you've lost another week. As always, if you like what you see, please like. Don't forget to subscribe. Have a great week and join us next. Oh, James. How can you mess that bit up? You were so close. And join us next week for part 2 of fitting the exhaust. Have a great week, guys. Take care.